You are listening to Fantha Tracks.
Because of the following special program, Wonder Woman and the Incredible Hulk will not be presented this evening.
It's time to get all your Star Wars news in a single file. This is Making Tracks. Here are your hosts, Mark Newbold and Mark Mulcaster.
It's not true. That's impossible.
You're listening to Making Tracks, and a very special episode as I sit down with two of the team members from Hasbro, that's Jing Hall and Chris Rife, to talk about the HasLab Ghost and other Hasbro related topics. So this is us talking with Jing and Chris from Hasbro.
My name is Jing, and I'm on the brand side for Hasbro.
And I'm Chris from the design side.
All right, so we'll dive right in. I know you guys have some questions, and we're here to talk to you. So Erica, why don't you kick us off?
Okay, thank you so much. I am from Italy, so for me it's afternoon. And thanks for inviting us from guerristellari.net. I'm super excited for this. And yes, I saw Ahsoka already 3 times, so I'm really in love with it. And I saw that the first year you reached with HasLab is Ezra Bridger. And I just want to know if is the Ezra Bridger we are going to see in the live action, or is the Ezra Bridger of the Rebel version?
Well, he is, like we do with our vintage collection figures, he's a live action version of the animated figure. And with this one, like with Hera, we had reference of the actor who's playing Ezra in Ahsoka. So we were able to sculpt that likeness onto the figure, but then he's in the outfit as you saw from Rebels. So
Okay.
he's the live action human interpretation,
Okay.
but in a Rebels outfit to match that mural card back.
Fantha Tracks. Mark, you want to ask the next one?
I surely do. The Ghost obviously flew through its target at speed, which must have been thrilling for you guys. Does that encourage you to do more HasLab, or does that encourage you to let the excitement build and do it on a less regular basis? You want to make us want more, or does that make you want to make more?
I mean, it's amazing to see the reactions that we got from the fan community. For us, it's obviously like doing the right project at the right time with the right cadence. So it's something we constantly balance. You know, you guys tell us what works a lot of times, either through, the support that you shown, like for the Ghost HasLab, for example. We're just really thankful because the community is so involved. They've just been so vocal, and they've just been so supportive. It's something we'll definitely keep in mind. We'll constantly do that balance. We'll make sure that we get out the projects that make sense at the right demand, while also like hearing from you if you're like, okay, we could wait or whatever. Just it's helpful. So keep talking, keep reacting, and we'll definitely keep that in consideration for the future.
Yeah, I like when you guys ask us questions that we want to ask you.
Yeah, you tell us. What do you think? Do you want it every year?
I think it depends, doesn't it? It depends on, like you say, Jing, you're absolutely right. It depends on the project and the timing. This feels beautifully timed with Ahsoka coming along, so this one makes all the sense.
Yeah. Rebels right back in the forefront of our thoughts. It was the right project for us, and I'm glad that you guys agree. Cool. Well, thank you for that question. Endor System Jose, are you on? Yes, you are.
Yes. Hi. The figures from the Ghost, Ezra, Kanan, and Seth will be different from the versions of those figures in the Vintage Collection line? And if yes, which will be the difference?
So we haven't announced anything than what we shared with you that is in the Ghost as tiers. So the figures in the Ghost are those exclusive card backs with that mural scene that, we've talked about. And they also have deco accessories to complete their End of Rebels appearance that we've talked about as well. So they are Rebels characters. That's what we can share with you, and that's what has been announced. So we can't talk or speculate about anything else beyond that. But we love those figures. And so far, hopefully you guys feel the same, because we love that mural card back. the other thing that we have.
Yeah, there's one more thing we can share.
One more thing tied to your question, actually, we're really excited to share with you is specifically that was in general, it's tied to this. It's similar. In general, there are questions about the other two figures that complete the Rebel crew on those mural card backs that we have not shared with you guys before. So this is a surprise pipeline, essentially. We know how important those crew members are. We've heard a lot about those. And we also wanted to basically let you guys know that if we unlock all three HasLab tiers, so right now we have Ezra, we have Kanan at 14, and Zeb at 17, you'll be able to complete the mural art collection of the Ghost crew from Rebels. So those two crew members are not part of this HasLab offering and are a separate purchase, but we wanted fans and to be able to complete their crew with those characters because we know how important it is. So it is that season 4 deco variant with the mural card back. So the same collection, same idea, and matches the style that we've seen so far for the HasLab tiers, but they are outside of the HasLab as a separate purchase. We definitely didn't want to lock these characters behind higher tiers in the HasLab. So for us, we're excited to be able to share that with you today. We know how important that is to the community, and we know that that's been a question that's being asked. So it's a little sidetrack to your question. Hopefully that gives you guys a little bit more info. Good. Awesome. Grazie, Erica. Did I say that badly? You can please correct me if I said that badly.
No, it's perfect.
Okay.
I buy the Ghost. And if I have problems with pieces, if I broke something, if I lose something, if there will be any problems, there is the possibility to have a new piece, to have an assistance or something like this. We can buy the new piece. We can have a new one.
Yeah, we're not selling pieces per se, but in general, if you have issues, if you have concerns with any product that you purchase from us, especially something like the HasLab and the Ghost, definitely reach out. We have a consumer care team for this reason, for these purposes, and talk to them, let them know whatever it is. And I'm sure they'll work with you and talk with you and try to address your concerns. So, I just wanted, it's a PSA. We do have a consumer care team, which I'm sure everyone knows as well, but talk to us and we want to be able to fix anything if there was an issue.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Okay, Fantha Tracks, Mark.
Slight change of topic. Young Jedi Adventures, it seems to have gone down really, really well. Are there any plans in the future to bring those characters to either Vintage Collection or the Black Series? I'm thinking because the Acolyte is in that High Republic era. Is there ever the consideration to change those and do them in different expressions?
Yeah, I mean, first off, how excited are we to see Young Jedi Adventures earlier this year? I think for Lucasfilm to go into that preschool line is so exciting. And I do have a preschooler at home. So it's just more TV time for us and we love to see it. So it's good to get that positive responses. And we definitely want to keep that going. That being said, we want to keep this in the intended preschool line for now. So there's no future lines, no future plans to discuss bringing that over. And because we do have a preschool line, I think that's where it currently sits. And, would love to see that continue to grow.
I want to see a live action version of Nubs. I know I want that.
Oh, man. Okay, cool. All right. Endor System, Jose.
If the Ghost sold more than 20,000 units, could you add an extra gift, or the 3 gifts announced will be the only ones that will include the Ghost, no matter the final sales numbers of the Ghost?
Yeah, I mean, we have nothing additional to announce at this time. We hope we unlock them all with Zeb at that 17,000 mark. Like I've mentioned, if we unlock them, we want to be able to have Sabine and Chopper on that exclusive mural as a separate purchase at a future date. But we didn't want to lock them behind higher thresholds. So for now, what we have is definitely Zeb at that 17,000. We'd love to unlock him and make sure we get the full crew. Cool. Erica.
So the Ghost you created is really stunning, but why you didn't create a lighting kit? I saw a lot of ships with a lighting kit, but not the Ghost. Why?
Yeah, we talked a little bit about this at San Diego when we revealed the thing. It's just lighting and electronics are one of those things where the costs have gone up more than other things have in recent years. So we thought it was more important to take what it would have cost to put that in there and to add more detail and more richness to the ship. And I know for me, lights on a ship last as long as you hold the button down, but the detail that you're looking at lasts much longer. And there's no worries about battery leakage or any of that stuff if you've run into that in the past. So I think it was just it's a decision to make a better product overall and more wisely invest the dollars that we were putting into it.
Cool. All right, Fantha Tracks.
In the UK, at least, the Retro Collection, I would say it's probably your most visible line on the high street. People love it because obviously it drags us back, especially old farts like me, it drags you back to your childhood. That said, there are more characters now appearing as Pulse exclusives and Amazon exclusives. Is the intention as the line continues to develop and grow to keep the focus on I'm calling it the high street. I know it's not the high street around the world, but general outlets around the world that people can easily get their hands on? Our
shorthand for it is just our mainline figures. And we have retro figures in mainline and some exclusives coming. We've pipelined some things, and you guys already know about some of the mainline stuff on the way. So it's definitely keeping the balance in there so that it's available to as broad an audience as possible. And we love that retro brings people into or reintroduces people to Star Wars toys and collectibles. So it's an important segment for us, and yeah, no plans to make any big changes there.
Back up to Endor System, Jose.
Yes. The Ghost will include the Phantom 2, and you saw during the Rebels collection the Phantom 1. Does the Phantom 1 could be attached to the Ghost?
It doesn't match up perfectly to the Ghost. With the new reference, things changed a little bit, and the scale's slightly off. I mean, that original Phantom 1 was for a whole different line. That was for a 5-point of articulation, younger based line. So with the new one, there are physical connections for the Phantom 2 to snap onto the back of the Ghost, and that being the primary ship for what we're seeing in Ahsoka, we wanted to make that as true and accurate as possible. That meant compromising and saying the old one wasn't going to fit. I will say, though, that it was around the entire time we were developing the Ghost. So it sits there. It's an inspiration piece. It looks amazing sitting next to it. So, but it's not designed to snap on the top.
For everything in one location, daily news, reviews, interviews, podcasts, video, and social media feeds, bookmark FanthaTracks.com for Star Wars news 24/7, 365.
Cool. All right. Thank you, guys. All right. Get started, Erica.
So you created the stunning Vader too, but is it possible to remove the helmet or it's not possible?
So that Vader does not have a removable helmet. That doesn't mean that can't be an option for something we do in the future. So it's just something to keep an eye out. All right, Fantha Tracks. Mark.
Very quick question, and things may have changed since I sent the question in. I understand you're not coming to New York Comic Con this year. Is there any reason why?
Yeah, I mean, currently we just don't have plans to exhibit there, but Hasbro, other brands might be sprinkled on site with some partner brands. We do have 2 upcoming events for Star Wars, though, including like that fan stream. I hope you guys saw that for next week, the Ahsoka fan stream that we're doing next Tuesday. So definitely join in. This is a nice segue to ask your fan base to come join us for that fan stream as well as PulseCon. So we'll obviously be there. But yeah, we won't be there for New York Comic Con, but join us for that fan stream for sure. All right, Endor Systems.
Is there any significant difference between the Ahsoka Tano figure from the Mandalorian with the Ahsoka Tano from the Ahsoka series in both the Vintage Collection and the Black Series?
There are no major differences between them. I mean, the character and the costume in the show is very much the same costume. It's just a continuation, but it's a new card back and new packaging for those to celebrate the new show. The figures themselves are no major differences, though.
We wanted Ahsoka on Ahsoka live action card.
Right.
So obviously Ahsoka's the main character. We've had her in the past. We just wanted to make sure that we had her in Ahsoka live action. Get us started, Erica.
So we know that in Ahsoka there is Anakin Skywalker. Are you going to create an action figure of him in the future or not?
Well, we haven't seen him in Ahsoka yet, so we can't speculate on anything there, of course. But, I mean, we've obviously had Anakins in general in the line in the past, though. So if he shows up, I would say it's a possibility, but we have nothing to announce. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess you can purchase Anakins in the past.
Yeah.
All right, Fantha Tracks, Mark.
A bit of a random question, this one. From each of you, from the last, let's say, 6 months, across any line, what's your favorite figure or release?
I mean, personally, I think this was announced a couple months ago. We talked about the Luke and Grogu packs, and we had that in both vintage, the Book of Boba Fett, in both vintage and Black series. Like, I loved both of them because they helped world building in different ways. Like, vintage had those jumping frogs, and the Black series had like the rock and stands for Grogu and the training ball. So I think we approached both of them in different ways, but I loved seeing it kind of just be nostalgic to what we saw in Empire Strikes Back, right? Like, that scene hit us so hard when we watched it. So I think those are my like those two packs in general are one that really stuck with me.
Yeah, for me, wow, that is a tough one. You want me to pick one favorite child?
You can pick 6 if you like. It's up to you.
If I'm gonna pick one, it would be the Mon Mothma retro figure.
Nice.
For me, retro. I think most people know that it's no secret. Retro is the product line, one of the product lines I work on, and it's a very special one close to my heart. Doing a new figure from the original trilogy is always something special, and interpreting that into retro was a lot of fun, and I love how that turned out. There are others. I mean, you can pretty much pick any retro figure, any new retro figure, any recreation figure, the Yak face, the Book of Boba Fett figures, all that stuff, all great. I love all those. One other big one that's a very special one to me is the N1 Starfighter. That was a great piece for the vintage collection. I think they're just starting to ship now, maybe for people like any day now kind of thing. I've got one hiding up on a shelf here behind me.
Oh yeah.
But privileges of working on it and seeing the first ones. So yeah, that's a very cool one.
Yeah, we had that at display in San Diego and Comic-Con, and it's really pretty in person. And Chris is showing off. So cool. Alrighty. Endor Systems, Jose.
In some of the designs of the 4-pack figures, the black and white boxes packs, you are including 9 different characters in the design, but the package includes just 4 different figures. Many collectors are wondering if you are planning to sell in the future the other characters in order to have all the versions that are in the design and have more different troopers in their collections, especially with human characters like the Hot Rebel Soldier and Rebel Fleet Troopers.
Yeah, those illustrations are really meant to be inspiration for fans to show you how you can build out a crowd of characters with multiples of those sets, because we call them troop builder sets. I mean, the idea is that they're figures that you could buy multiples of, that you could build out an army of those characters and customize them, pop heads around or hats and stuff, and make them unique. So that's what those illustrations are about. They're just ways to take advantage of those figures. And there's the one side that has the whole giant crowd. The reverse side of that package just shows the 4 that are in that pack. So that's really what that's about, is inspiration and playing a little bit with the figures.
Thank you.
All right, get us started, Erica.
Okay, the last question I have, can you tell us about the next Star Wars projects?
Well, we can't announce anything that hasn't been announced. That's our party line. But you guys are giving me opportunities to plug. We have a fan stream coming up next week. join us. It's going to be an Ahsoka themed fan stream, so definitely join us. Let's have a party. Let's talk through some reveals that we have coming up, and we hope you tune in. I swear I did not ask you to ask. It's just a perfect opportunity for me to plug that in. I think that might be all the questions, but I think Mark, did you have one more? Or?
Yeah, I'm just curious. You mentioned Ahsoka, obviously, and you can't say anything about what's coming out, but of what you're planning and what you've planned and what's looking ahead across all the various lines, are we, maybe it's too much of a leading question and you probably can't answer it, but obviously there's figures coming out and I'm assuming there's Black Series, the toy line, active play stuff coming out. Okay, I'll frame it differently. Is there the potential for play sets to come out?
There's always the potential for anything to come out. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously play sets is in our toolbox of things that we can always explore. We can't talk about anything that hasn't been revealed in general. And, I'd love to hear from the fan community, especially as they watch Ahsoka along with us, if there's anything that really catches their eye.
I think that's something that we see a lot from the fan sites is talk about which figures everybody wants, but we don't see a lot of talk about which ships and which play sets, what world building things for TVC or for Black Series. We don't see a lot of that chatter. And I'd love to see more of that from all the fan sites, because I think you guys know we look to figure requests and see what everybody's looking for in figures. We do that all the time, and that deeply informs what we do because we want to deliver on that stuff. So the same would be true for play sets and vehicles, all that stuff. So I'd say just up the chatter on those and see what comes.
Awesome. Thank you for asking that. And then, I guess if there is anything in the future, let us know.
Yes. Is there any chance that we could see the release of the Rancor that was not funded in the Hasbro lab, or it's just gone forever?
Honestly, it's probably just gone forever. That's the beauty of what the HasLab program does, is it lets the fans vote on what they want, and that one didn't quite make it. It broke our hearts. It was a beautiful piece. It doesn't mean we're never going to do a Rancor in Vintage Collection. If something changes, but what you saw as that HasLab, I don't think we will ever get back to.
Alrighty. Thank you guys so much for joining us and for asking some amazing questions. And again, please join us next week for the Ahsoka live stream. But other than that, also, the Ghost is funding. Please tell your friends, families, pets, tell them about the Ghost, and definitely help us unlock the other 2 tiers. So,
if everybody goes and buys one more right now, we're golden.
Everybody in the world.
Everybody. Yeah, not just you guys. Everybody.
Thank you all for joining us. I know it's time out of your day to spend time with us, and we love talking to you, so we appreciate it, and I'm sure we'll talk soon.
Brilliant. Thank you.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
If you want to be part of the action, visit Fanthatrax.com or be sure to comment, like and share on our social media feeds at Fanthatrax. Send in your listeners' questions by emailing radio@Fanthatrax.com. Subscribe, leave a review, preferably a 5-star one, on Amazon Music, Audible, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or your podcatcher or smart speaker of choice. And as always, thanks to James Temple for composing the Fanthatrax intro, Adam O'Brien for our Making Tracks opening music, and Mark Daniel and Vanessa Marshall for our voiceovers. Tune in to Good Morning Tatooine. It's live Sunday evenings, 9 o'clock UK, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, on Facebook, YouTube and Twitch, and check out our Fanthatrax Radio Friday night rotation every Friday at 7 o'clock UK time for new episodes of The Phantom from Down Under, Planet Leia, Desert Planet Discs, Start Your Engines, Collecting Tracks, Cannon Fodder, and special episodes of Making Tracks, and every Tuesday at 7 o'clock UK time for your weekly episode of Making Tracks. And remember, Fanthatrax.com, our social media feeds, Fanthatrax TV and Fanthatrax Radio are absolutely free. So no Patreon, Buy Me a Coffee, Kickstarter or Indiegogo required to stay updated on all the latest Star Wars news.
Coming up next on Fanthatrax Radio, it's Start Your Engines.